Never done this. Like both ways. So we're gonna see. Okay, we are live. We'll see how it goes. Hey everyone, if you are watching live, this is the first time I've ever done both, but if you have questions, put them in the comments, but I'm gonna disappear myself so that you can see the whole screen while we're talking. Perfect. And let's get started. Okay. I first want to tell you guys why I decided to do this kind of a workshop in the first place. We've done workshops before on weight loss, plenty of them, but this one is different. It's an entire program to help your body to lose weight. And when we say like 20 to 35 pounds in 6 weeks, it's real. It's wild what I've seen. And that's the biggest reason. I was at a seminar and I saw a maximum chiropractor like myself. I hadn't seen her because I only see her like 2 to 3 times a year. And I hadn't seen her in a long time. And I was like, wow, you look completely different. What are you doing? Because I know she's not doing like the GLPs and the semaglutides and the Ozempics and the Mounjaros and like all that. She's not doing that. So I was like, okay, so like what is different or what have you done different? And she's like, I started doing ChiroThin. I was like, okay, what's that? So we started talking and I was like, I was still just like, I don't know. And then I saw another Max Living chiropractor. Her name is Kat Smith and she practices in California. We went for a funeral and I saw her and I was like, what are you doing? And she's like, started doing ChiroThin. Then we had 2 patients that were from Dr. Sandy's office, that first chiropractor that I told you about. They started doing it and they transferred to our office. Like they would go back and forth from Michigan to here and they had lost 35. And I was like, what is this? So then I did it and I didn't need to lose 35 pounds, but I lost 13 pounds. And I was like, this is wild what can be done. And it's not gimmicky. It is not like you're really going to learn things here tonight that you can do to take with you. Even if you don't go full throttle into the program, like there are things that you are absolutely going to take away from tonight. But that's the biggest reason why I decided to do this. It is crazy wild, the results that you can see, like 5 to 10 times more weight loss and 5 to 12 times less expensive than the semaglutides and the GLPs and all of that, like by doing it more naturally and holistically, like it is possible to do it. And the thing I want to start with too is we have to start this whole thing with mindset. And this is me, it used to be me, not before ChiroThin, but before I really learned the things that even ChiroThin implements into it. So I stopped weighing myself at about 200 pounds and I would yo-yo diet. I would starve myself. I would take like appetite suppressants on steroids, like so that I wouldn't even be hungry like at all, which is a lot of what the semaglutides and the Ozempics and Mounjaros actually do, is like they keep you from eating at all whatsoever. And I would yo-yo back and forth. But none of this is going to change. There is no magic pill. There is no magic lotion. There is no magic anything to just melt the fat off of your body if you don't get this one thing. So the questions that I have for you right now is like, how do you see yourself right now? And I'm going to be real. Like, do you see yourself as a fat person? When you look at yourself in the mirror, when you're talking about yourself or when you think about yourself, like, are you just like, I am fat? Okay. That's a mindset that you cannot carry into this next season of you losing weight. Because what will happen is, yes, you can absolutely lose weight. Like the program, absolutely 100%, you will lose weight. But if you don't change your identity of how you look and see yourself, you will end up where? Right back, even though this is like so great and it's so awesome, it's because you haven't changed your mindset. Like, what do you say about yourself right now? What are the words that are inside of your mind and what are you saying, especially when it comes to your body image, when it comes to your weight, when it comes to standing on a scale, when it comes to those things, what do you say? And you know it. And if I got in there, for some of you, it might not be the most prettiest thing and it probably wouldn't be very kind. But we have to begin to change that. Then the next part, how do you see food right now? Do you see food as bad, Some foods are bad, some foods are good. So I'm going to change your thought process of it. Food isn't morally good or bad. And it's how you look at it and how you see it. Do you see things in seafood like, oh, I can't have that because blah, 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 blah. I can't have that because of ABC, whatever it might be. I can't have that because it's bad for me. I can't have that because it'll make me fat. I can't have that because of whatever. You can have whatever you want. It's how you look at that food. What do you say about it? And those things have to change. What do you say about it? And then the other thing I want to talk about is stress does have to change too. One of the biggest culprits of why you would get stuck, why your body, you do all the right things and it still won't lose weight. One of the biggest things is stress. And it is right into the mindset world. How we perceive stress and how we look at stress matters. Stress, cortisol goes up. That cortisol, when cortisol stays high. Sometimes we think adrenal fatigue, you think we're exhausted. No, that can keep fat around this midsection of your body because that's where cortisol can lie into your belly and then into your hip area. So if we don't address those things, we can do all the right stuff. We can lose weight, but then it can all start to come back. So I want to address that because that was one of the biggest things that I had to change when I lost 60 pounds. How I looked at myself, how I thought myself, who my identity was, what I thought about who I am as a person has to change. So the same thing has to change with you. I'm not going to just sit here and give you all the things that you need to do. Some of you are like, just give me the program or just give me what I need to do and then I'll do it. But that's not why I'm here. I'm not here to just talk about something that I've seen work like over and over and over and over again, and then just to go back to where you are right now. To me, that's not what this is about. This is long term. This is like a new you. This is a new identity that you don't just keep yo-yoing back and forth and gaining weight and losing weight and gaining weight and losing weight. That's not what this is about. So we have to start right here. So let's get into it. Hi, people online. It's Dr. Cassie. If you're there and you have any questions, just put it inside of here. This is the first time I'm doing both, and it's kind of a little bit weird, but we're going to go through it all. Okay. Let me tell you about why this exists. The original concept was developed by a medical community, so not from a natural holistic chiropractor. And then the other, it's been around for over 70 years. Totally, right? I was like, seriously? But it has been. Long time has this been a part of weight loss with ChiroThin. It's sound scientific, all principles are sound and all good. They even did a case study and they took all the people doing ChiroThin, over 300,000 people going through this program. They've gone through it and did an entire case study to be able to see and prove what happens here. You will see the results that you are looking for. The other part, the clinical trials that I just took, prove effectiveness, safety, all of that, as long as it's under a doctor's supervision. So this isn't something that you just get to go do wherever, however, without being supervised on it. So that's why I'm here, because I'll be the one that helps you through all of this with weekly check-ins to make sure that all is good, all is well, because everybody's different. Everybody's health where they're at, and knowing that I'm also a chiropractor, being able to not just go through some weight loss program, I know about health and what that looks like. So being able to walk through all of this safely. Make sense? Okay. So what is it? It's a doctor-supervised weight loss program. There are things that are going through it. Dietary behavioral modifications. That is the big part of nutrition. What does that look like? Your behavior does change. It has to change. Because if it continues to keep the way that you look at food, how you eat food, all of that, if that stays the same, you're not going to get the results. So there is some behavior modifications. There is dietary modifications that come with it as well. Then no injections. There are no injections. There are no hormone supplements. There is none of those things that will do it. But there are two different supplements. One of them is called the ChiroThin drops right here. What's inside of this is amino acids. And it also has B12 and then phosphates, magnesium phosphate and sodium phosphate. The reason that these are here and why the drops are helping your body, they do help you appetite suppressive. Like there is some appetite control with it. There's also thermogenesis, which helps your body to create fat and like burn more fat like it's supposed to. The other part, the vitamins in it, and then also helps support your liver. It does even help support your adrenals and your thyroid, all from taking these drops. One of the big parts is the amino acid aspect to it. When you lose weight, you don't want to lose muscle.
Yeah. Right.
If you lose muscle with it, that's one of the biggest problems with the GLPs and the semaglutides. You watch people and then all of a sudden their faces are sunken in and everything like that because they've lost muscle tissue, because it eats not just fat and makes people lose weight, but it also eats their muscle tissue. We do not want to be doing any of those things. So having amino acids in the dropper form, you take them 3 times a day. We'll talk through the process in just a minute, but that helps to support so that you keep your muscle tissue while you're also losing weight. The other one is the AGGR. This one right here, it helps design to break through weight loss barriers. You do not do this right at the very beginning. It's on day about 12, because on day 12, that's where they've seen through the clinical trials and the research, and even with myself, I was like, day 12, I kind of like hit a plateau. Anybody ever hit a plateau? And you're like, let's get through this. And then you have to like drastically change some things or do some things differently to get past it. So it helps your body to be able to do that. African mango seed extract inside of it, raspberry ketone. There is decaffeinated coffee bean extract and green tea. If you're a little bit like, I'm a little bit sensitive to green tea, most people you're not going to be sensitive to this supplement at all. But it all helps to support your body being able to break through, helps your hormones. There's also maca in it as well. So then it helps to support thyroid hormones while you're also doing this in weight loss management. Okay. Then weekly supervision. I check on you weekly for 6 weeks, making sure all is good, all is well, asking questions. What does this look like? And I'm going to walk through like how do you do this? Like how do you make this like a sustainable thing that you could do on a daily basis? So let's walk through this and what it does. Suppresses your appetite slightly. It's going to, but sometimes we need that because we've overeaten and we need to re-regulate what our appetite actually is via like portion control too. So being able to do that. It boosts your metabolism, energy levels, is cause your body to burn more fat, reduces absorption of dietary fat, supports leptin and adiponectin levels. So those are made inside of your body. Adiponectin helps your body go through thermogenesis. So adipose tissue is fat tissue. So inside of your body, it helps to be able to do that. And leptin helps you to realize when you're hungry, when you're full. They work hand in hand, leptin and ghrelin. You may have heard ghrelin is like, I'm hungry. So it's your body saying I'm hungry, but leptin says I'm full. And so when leptin is not where it needs to be, then your body doesn't know when it's full. So it keeps on eating. So it helps to rebalance that what your body already has inside of it. It also helps fat cell reduction. So you have fat cells inside of your body, but we want to reduce them, not just burn them, but even the size of them. So there's different cell sizes of fat cells in your body. So it's going to start to shrink them as well. So they're not as big. Supports healthy blood insulin levels, helps your body establish new set points. I want to sit right here for just a minute. Helps your body establish new set points for your BMR and your BMI. Okay. You have right now a metabolic set point. So it's like you can eat certain calories, your body burns a certain amount of calories, and this is kind of like where your metabolism is at, is right here. The best way that I can describe this is I had a metabolic set point at one point, but we would do like juice fasts and things like that. And so when we would do a juice fast, I would lose like 3 to 5 pounds. And I was like, oh, this is kind of like awesome too, while I'm also detoxing, like this is great. Then I would eat food. And then I would go all the way back up to, and I'm like, do I literally have to only drink juice to like get down just like 5 pounds? Like what in the world? And I'm not eating unhealthy food. Like I went back to my healthy eating plan. Like I wasn't just eating garbage. It's because I had a metabolic set point. When you don't reset your set point to then go lower, then it bounces right back up. And that's where the yo-yo effect comes into play. So there's a reason that it is 42 days, AKA like 6 weeks, It takes about 6 weeks of doing a protocol like this to create a new set point, then you maintain, and then you can go to another set point after that 42 days. So this isn't like you do this for 90 days and then you get to that place. No, your body can't handle it because it has to create a new set point. And the only way you can do a set point is you have to get to that place, that weight that you want to be. Then you have to maintain it for a little bit so that it can create that set point. Then if you're like, I'm still not where I want to be, I need a new set point, then you do it again to create a new set point after that. That is what the difference is from losing weight than gaining weight. It's creating a brand new metabolic set point for your body. And it's all safe and it's all effective of where we want it to be. Oh, sorry, guys. That's what I just said. I didn't click the next slide. Thanks, Donna. All right, next one. Let's talk about traditional medical weight loss. It's pretty expensive. Anybody ever done it in here? Anybody ever done it online? I don't know. It can be pretty expensive. Yeah. I mean, just think about, I have a set or a thing about it, but it's not like this part, but Ozempic, if you don't have a diabetes diagnosis, like the cost of what that is absolutely insane. You know where it came from, right?
Yeah. That's why I stopped.
Yeah.
That's a bad reaction.
Yeah, but I mean, the way it became so like out in the world is because of Hollywood. So it's because of celebrities. Celebrities were able to buy it and they would buy it and spend a lot of money. Like like thousands of dollars for an injection, one injection. Yep. $1,000, one injection. Like it's anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000, like from what I've heard, of the injection to be able to lose weight. It's wild. But you can, like, if you look, like, it works, but there's a lot of side effects to that.
There's a lot of
side effects to that. There is a paralyzing of all of your organs. Like the reason that you don't eat is because your stomach becomes paralyzed. It's from the Gila monsters, like the animal, from their poison that's inside of there. And it causes your body to eat its own muscle tissue. And the expenses of what that is crazy. Daily injections. Excessive fat loss can cause toxicity. Like the fat loss, like losing that much, like it's wild what that can do because you have to be able to detox your body through it. And that's not what's happening. But you will when you have the proper drops and the proper supplementation, the proper support that your body needs, because toxins are fat soluble. So they hide inside of fat. So when you lose that fat, if you don't also detox your body at the same exact time, it will also rebound and then cause your body to gain the weight back or cause toxicity issues. So you have to do both when you're losing weight. Always hungry. Anybody ever like done something and you're like, my God, I'm just like so hungry all the time. And I just like, it's not sustainable. So when you're always hungry all the time, it is not sustainable for you to be able to do that long term. So then it's like, I can't sustain it, so I'm not going to do it. So then I give up. And then they lose the muscle tissue. It's one of the biggest things that happens with traditional weight loss. So how does this work? All of this we talk about right here works to burn fat, suppress hunger, eliminate your cravings, establish the new set points. Here we go. 2 meals a day. Okay? So this is a form of intermittent fasting. So this means you do not have breakfast. So you're eating 2 meals a day. You're going to have a certain amount of lean protein, vegetables, fruits, and there is a portion in certain kinds of bread that you can have on this as a carbohydrate. It is optional. It's up to you if you want to do it. When I did it, I didn't do it because I was like, I don't normally even eat bread, so I don't need to add bread just because this program says I should add bread. Yeah.
If you typically don't eat dinner, like if you're more 2 meals a day of breakfast and lunch, is it
You can do that. Nope, you can do that. Yep, okay. You can totally do that. Everything is low glycemic. So nothing is high in sugar. So of course, like we're not going to have things high in sugar. So we want to keep them on the low end, and it's going to be anti-inflammatory. All of this is real food purchased at a grocery store. So there's no like shakes. Yeah, no shakes, no smoothies, no bars, no like Yeah, there's none of that. It's all real food, okay? No prepackaged meals, none of those things. It is all real food. So what does a typical meal look like? Fruits, you're having 4 ounces. We'll walk through the logistics in here in just a minute, but it is like real food. You can have certain dressings, you can have certain sauces, you can have all kinds of things, but it's like meat, veggies, fruit, and then a little bit of bread if you want it. Certain kinds of bread. So it's like you're not starving yourself, you're not doing anything like that, but there are 3 phases, okay? There's a loading phase, a losing phase, and then a maintenance phase. Taking the supplements that are here, the correct blend of everything together when you're eating it, and then you just have to then do it. Okay? It's a big part of it. You doing it. Because when people are like, I don't know, I didn't lose 20 pounds. I'm like, did you follow it or did you only do half of it? Or like, how did that go? That's why we do weekly check-ins to make sure that all is good and well. Key success lead to an average of, no joke, 22, 35 pounds in 6 weeks. It's wild. But here, let's talk about it. What's the loading phase? This might bug some eyeballs out. It did for me at the very beginning too, and it was a little bit hard for me to do. But days 1 and 2, you're loading. Loading the drops, you do 7 drops under the tongue 3 times per day. You hold it into your mouth 1 to 2 minutes, and then you swish it around before swallowing. It's sublingual, which means it goes underneath your tongue. So 7 drops of that, 10 minutes away from food or before food, okay? You're gonna eat 5,000 calories day 1 and day 2. So this is the hardest part, okay? Yeah.
Are you giving us
Huh?
Are you giving
Well, with 5,000 calories, this is like game on. So this is really the struggle part because I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. But here's the thing.
5,000 calories.
Why you would do this? You're creating a higher metabolic set point. It also helps to like stimulate your thyroid. It's a weird thing of what it does. You're only doing it for 2 days. Yep.
If you have a thyroid issue,
You can still do all this.
okay.
Yep, you can still do everything, all of it. I'll tell you, there's a couple things of why you couldn't do this, okay? This feels so wrong. It feels so hard, but I promise you, it's not as hard as you think it is to eat 5,000 calories.
If you work out, do you have to?
Huh?
If you work out, do you have to counteract that?
No,
Or- okay.
not on day 1 and day 2.
Okay.
Yep.
Whoa, high fat.
High fat. So high fat,
Oh.
and listen, the thing is grazing all day. So not just eating this in 3 meals. High fat foods that are calorie dense. If you struggle with bloating, lean on like higher fat proteins than higher fat like other things like avocados or like oils that aren't good. Like if you kind of have some of that, you stay on that. Now, this is a must. Do not miss this phase and be like, I'll just skip it, like because I'm not going to do that. If you don't load correctly, you will not lose correctly. We're not saying this just to do it, and it feels weird because it's also January 1st, and you're like, this feels the opposite of what I should be doing. But listen, everything is fair game. I don't care how you do it. Do I recommend going through the fast food place? Probably not. But you want to know what I had? I had Jimmy John's.
Wait.
You would be surprised how many calories are in a Jimmy John's sub.
Yeah.
I had some candy because it was right after Halloween is when we did this. Oh, well, when I did this. And then I went to Main Event, place, whatever place, game place.
Yeah.
And we had a appetizer that had so many things on it. At the end, we had dessert, and it was ice cream with a bunch of stuff on it. And listen, I was like, oh my gosh, but I had friends, and they helped me. I was like, I have to eat 5,000 calories today. Can you guys help me do this? And so we did. And it was tough, but it was kind of fun also at the same time. So this is where we're going to go back to mindset. Slide 1. Just have some fun with it. I don't know. Do something like you never would. Eat a pizza, like the whole thing. I don't like. Do something. Just kind of have fun with it. Don't get so like, because it has to happen in order for your body to create a set point to then go back down so that you can lose weight. Okay, the first 2 days. But the big part of this is you cannot miss the drops. This isn't like load and then don't do the drops and just eat 5,000 calories and then like that. No, there's a whole protocol of why this works. But that is the thing, same thing, stimulate your metabolism to prepare for that losing phase.
Before you eat, or does it like
10 minutes before or after you eat. Okay? They need to be 7 hours apart. All of this is inside of a thing, so just so that you know, but if you need to read it.
You're only eating 2 meals a day the first
Nope, 5,000 calories first 2 days. None of that 2 meals a day matters right now.
We're grazing all day long.
You're grazing all day long.
I'm just saying.
Oh, no, I froze too. Some meals from Christmas.
Just eat them all up.
I thought for my kids, I
Eat 'em all
thought, well,
up.
I think I'll put that meat in the way.
So drops are 3 times a day, 7 hours apart. So the recommended time is 7 a.m., 2 p.m., 9 p.m. You can shift those however you want to. They just need to be 7 hours apart. How I did this was I set 3 alarms. I don't have my phone in here. I set 3 alarms at 7 a.m., 2 p.m., 9 p.m. on my phone so I wouldn't forget. And they went off every day for 42 days so that I would know to put and do my
Oh,
drops.
so you do that
Every day.
every day, not just the 2 days that you eat the 5 days.
So then
Okay.
we have the losing phase. Losing phase is day 3 through 42. Drops go down to 5, 3 times a day. So day 1 and day 2, it's 7 drops 3 times a day, 7 hours apart. Day 3 to 42, it's 5 drops under the tongue 3 times per day. Day 40 to 42, no drops, but you stay with eating the dietary guidelines, which we're going to talk about right here. Okay? What are you doing from day 3 to 42? You're having 2 meals per day, lunch and dinner, but also if you don't eat dinner, you can do breakfast and lunch. That's fine, but 2 meals a day, following the guidelines, and you're going to drink 100 to 120 ounces of water a day. No more, no less. Okay? So however that looks, like we have these bottles that we do, each one of them is 33 ounces, so I would make sure that I had 33 that day, and then a little swig of water afterwards to get my whole 100 ounces inside of there. Anti-inflammatory foods in combination with all that targets that stubborn fat and results in weight loss. So each meal must include, okay? 4 ounces pre-cooked. So if you cook it, what I did, because I was like, I meal prep. And so I was like, 4 ounces of pre-cooked doesn't equal 4 ounces of post-cooked. There are 2 different things. So I measured out 4 ounces and I cooked it and then I measured it again. So then I knew how much I would have for my things. And I'll show you how I've done some of that thing. 4 ounces of approved fresh vegetables, 4 ounces of approved fresh fruits, and that 1 approved carb optional bread thing is fine. You do get a book inside of here. So all of this, it tells you exactly how to do recipes. It has an instruction manual, a food, and a weight journal. In the back part, it tells you every single food that you can have, from beef to pork to lean cuts of any types of that, all things that are good to go, everything that you can have, all of it is all right here. All the sauces, all the things that are approved, everything is on here. Okay?
How many calories does that end up being typically per meal?
So it's a pretty limited amount of calories. It's anywhere from 500 to 800. Okay? Yeah. Yep.
So I've done one before where I had 1,200 and I was so hungry.
Yeah. Well, that's because you have to have some things to be able to help you. Yep. Mm-hmm. And there's another aspect to this too, which we'll talk about in just a minute. All approved are inside of there. Vegetarian and options are inside of there. Here's the thing. If it's not in the book, it is not allowed. So if you come to me and you're like, Dr. Cassie, is this approved? And I'm going to be like, did you check your book? Is it in the book? Is it on the book? If it's not on the book, it is not approved. Now, there are a bunch of free vegetables. So that might feel like, oh my gosh, like that is it. There's cabbage, there's cucumbers, there are celery, there is mushrooms. Tomatoes are a little bit free. They're kind of like in that middle ground, so you can have them in moderation. I put mushrooms on everything. I put cucumbers on everything. I put sprouts on everything. You can have as much lettuce and things that you want to, so then it doesn't feel like I'm having nothing. You can, but it's not recommended for you to like feel like you have nothing that's inside of here. I was totally fine. Like I wasn't hungry. Like I was good.
If you eat a salad.
Yeah.
You just.
Yeah, you just keep it in here. You have to keep it into these guidelines right here. So you're getting everything that you need. Like this is a well-balanced and well-rounded meal with everything that you need inside of it, but you're making sure that you are measuring it. You're not just eyeballing it to see if it's okay. So what do you do after 43 days and beyond?
I was gonna say, you're eating
You
nothing.
can't, no, yeah, you don't
And then
just
all
keep
of a
going
sudden-
like that.
Okay.
That is not recommended. You do not keep doing that at all whatsoever. Maintenance though, no drops, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, totally fine. Increase your consumption, 3 to 5 weeks, continue maintenance until you have been stabilized. So remember, you're setting a new set point. As long as you stabilize a half of a pound for 5 to 10 days and you don't gain or lose and you stabilize in that space, then you can either do another round if you wanted to, or you can start adding more things into your diet. You're creating a new metabolic set point. This is what it takes. Women and men, it's all right there. You can see you increase your ounces of protein, your starches, your vegetables, your sugars. You can have 2 servings of that, and you can have breakfast of any lean protein and fruits. So now you're back up. You do that for 5 to 10, once you get to that stabilization phase, and then we can talk about what that looks like. Everybody's a little bit different. Okay? Why is this such a good idea? You can see we talked about a whole bunch of different things, but it's all, the biggest thing I can tell you is like, I'll supervise you through the whole entire thing. You have questions, we'll walk through it. No need for prescriptions, no injections, like having all of those things to be able to detox your body, support your metabolism, all of that all at one time. And then what this looks like is initial consultation. I'm not going to, like tonight we'll talk about what it looks like pricing wise, but we're going to sit down and do a consultation first before this is the thing. We have to decide if this is the right program for you. If it's not, that's okay too. We need to decide that ahead of time, but we're going to go through a health history. Like you're going to fill out some things just to make sure it's good. And then we'll do a Q&A section. We'll go through some counseling if we need to, and we'll review all of the instructions of everything. So I'm not just going to send you off and be like, okay, good luck. I hope it goes well. Talk to you in a week. Like, no, I want to do an initial consultation as part of what this is to make sure that this is a good thing. It can be done in the office. It can be done on the phone. So if you're listening online, like, and you don't live here, like we can do all of this over the phone or over Zoom. It's going to have a 42-day supply of the ChiroThin formula inside of it. So you have this, and then the AGGR also be inside of there as well. No stimulants, none of that stuff. We're going to do 6 weekly follow-ups. So every single week, I'm going to check in, make sure that you're good. I found that it's a lot easier if you just do it virtually. So I'll most likely text you or call you to make sure that it's good. We'll decide what form of that works the best for you. And every week we'll check in, see where you're at. If you've plateaued, what do we do? If you have questions, you might be hungry. I don't know. Like if something could be off or whatever it is, and we can talk through what that looks like. Okay. It also has an instruction manual, instructional website access. So you have all the resources that you would need to do this. And then a 60+ page friendly resource guide. So you can have all the recipes that you want inside of there as well. So if you don't have to think, you can just make the ones inside of there, and it doesn't have to be bland. Here's the time and cost that I was talking about. Like even the ones like Weight Watchers, Nutrisystem, Jenny Craig, like it takes about 12 weeks and $300+ to do Weight Watchers. So it takes a lot longer. It might be a little bit less of a cost, but I don't know a whole lot of people that have done a lot of weight loss when it comes to Weight Watchers. It just kind of seems like it fluctuates here and there. Plus you have all those bars. The ChiroThin itself is 6 weeks. It's anywhere from $5,000. It depends on what it is. It's doctor supervised Nutrisystem. 12 weeks, anywhere from $1,000 to $1,200. Jenny Craig is 15 to 20 weeks. It's about $1,200 to $2,000. Just as a comparison to lose about 20 pounds. You're also going to save money, if you didn't know, on food. The way that this started, because I Costco food like all the way, like every single thing, and I was like, oh, okay, I only need like half of this for my food. Dr. Michael was eating carnivore when I was doing this, so then he didn't eat any vegetables, and I was like trying to figure out how I was doing all of this, and we saved a lot of money. I mean, here's the breakdown, like 1 less meal a day, like no junk food, no snacks, like so all of that gets cut out, like no fast processed food, like none of that stuff. You're not buying any of those things anymore. So you save a lot more money by doing it this way as well. And just think about how many times you snack on things, like how many times you order pizza or go to dinner, and all of that is cut out. Now, did I still go to dinner sometimes? Yeah, I did. Did I do this? Yep, I did. Yep. I can eyeball, even though I couldn't measure everything. I mean, I could have gotten my scale out at the restaurant, but I wasn't good to do that. But I did. Like, I didn't cut out every single thing. I was like, okay, so I can have this and I can have this. And I asked, and like, was it a little bit uncomfortable? Yeah, but I did it. True Food Kitchen, like I would get it delivered to here because you know exactly what's inside of there, and they don't care if you say, don't do this and I can't have this. Can we just do this, or like just this part or just this section? And they're like, yeah, sure. So that's what I would do. Like as for most of my meals, if I needed to eat out something or do something really quick, that's what made it pretty easy to do, is I just kept to my ones that are really good. Can you do this if you have diabetes, thyroid problems, high blood pressure, heart problems, cancer-free hysterectomies? Yes. The only ones that we'll talk about here in just a second, is it safe if I'm on any drug or medication? Yep. If I'm on hormone replacement therapy? Yep. You can do all of those things. There's no contraindications at all for any medication that you are on, or if you're on a hormone replacement therapy. Why is it less expensive? There's no franchise fee. It's a separate office space. There's no like staff of any, it's made in the United States of America. Like it's FDA certified. The lab is GMP certified. So if you don't know what that means, it's like most supplements are not third party regulated. So you can buy any kind of supplement, put it on a shelf and sell it, and nobody can see if it's good or not. And it could be garbage. It could be all filler. That's not what any of these supplements are. Does your insurance pay for this? No. But a lot of times you can use an FSA or an HSA as long as it meets the guidelines of your FSA or HSA to be able to do this. Can you buy it cheaper online? No. It's only available in chiropractors' offices because of the supervision of making sure that all is good and all is well. So you cannot go to the store, or you cannot buy it online. You have to be a doctor supervised to be able to do this and specialized to do it. I did like training and all that to be able to do it as well. But it's all comprehensive. No other places can do it. It's not like selling snake oil. That is not what I am doing. Okay. If you know me, you know that that's not true, but just to make sure, if you don't, can you do this on your own? Not really. It's pretty documented and researched that if you do attempt, because it's very low carb diet, like you need to do it supervised to make sure that all is good and well. There's no control on any of the products that you do. Truth in labeling ensures consistency. And then we had people that have tried DIY and then they switch because it's not quite working like it should. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just here to give you some of these information, and then you get to decide if this is the best thing for you to do or not. Do you need to take anything else, like other vitamins or supplements when you're on it? You can. A multivitamin, if you take one of those, as long as it's high quality. B vitamins are okay to take as well. The only thing that is not okay to take on here are fish oils. Yep. Now, if you need to take them, yes, I know. And that's where it's like, we will have a consultation to make sure. But if you're not medically taking fish oils for a certain reason and you're just doing it just for health purposes, for 42 days, you're going to stop them. Okay. And then after that, go for it. The reason is you can see that there's no fats or oils in this at all whatsoever. There's none. Does that go against everything that I have like taught and learned and known? Yeah, it does. But for a period of time, the reason you're getting rid of it is because your body needs to burn the fat on itself. So even though fat is not bad, like healthy fats are not bad and they are good for us, to create a new metabolic set point, we have to get rid of all of that fat, even if it's healthy and even if it's good, for a moment so that your body can burn the fat that's already on it. It uses that for fuel, and you're going to eat other things that will help fuel your body in the other areas for it. Okay? Here's some just successes that you guys can see real life people from other chiropractic offices. She lost 27 pounds and 25 inches in 42 days. This is Dan. He lost 33 pounds and 29 inches in 42 days. It's wild. Jeannie lost 20 pounds and 20 inches in just 21 days. So that was half of the program, and she was there. This is Angelica. She lost 26 pounds and 24 inches in 42 days. This is Nancy. She lost 20 pounds and 19 inches in 42 days. Doesn't even matter how old you are. You can see Nancy's a little on the older side. Roland, he lost 56 pounds and 34 inches in 42 days.
Wow.
Guys always
I know.
lose
Yeah.
weight. But women were still there, okay? We can still do it. We might not be at the 56 pounds and the 42 days.
Over a pound a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You weigh yourself every day on this.
Really good.
You weigh yourself every single day and you put it inside of your journal. And the reason is because if you don't know, like if you start to see your body lose weight every single day, you will. Oh,
Yeah.
you will be
Yeah.
like, and yes, and yes, and yes, absolutely. It helps to motivate you to also keep going. That is why. 96 pounds in under 5 months. So he did a metabolic set point, then he's maintained it and then did another one and went through and lost 96 pounds and 46 inches in 5 months. It's wild. So here's what I want to talk to you about. So it obviously costs something. Because this is the first time that we are launching it out to it, you guys get the cheapest of it all. Normally it would be $7.99. What is $7.98 here? Normally, or right now it's going to be $7.98, but normally it would go up to $9.98. So because of the launch, there's 2 different ways to do it. You can split it up over 2 payments, $39 a month for 2 months, or if you prepay it, $6.99. But everything that's inside of here, those of you that are here, it's inside of here. We've printed off so that you can see exactly what it is. You get the ChiroThin drops, you get the AGGR, you get 6 of the follow-ups with me. You're also going to get 2 monthly post-maintenance, like check-ins to make sure that all is good and well on there. Let's talk about exercise real quick. It is not recommended to exercise for 42 days.
Wow.
For some of you, that is very hard. It was hard for me. I didn't listen, okay? I did Pilates. It should be something small. It should not be burning a whole bunch of calories inside of your body. And for some of you, that might be like, oh my gosh, like I can't work out, I can't move. This is wild, this is crazy. Listen, for 42 days, that is it. For a month of not working out. However, you get access to Chiro Burst online conditioning. So this is what you could do. It's stretching, it is walking, it is very calm, it is very easy, it is very gentle on your body while you're going through this. But you get access to it for free right there. You will get access to all of that. And then I also want to add in here a box of element. The reason I want to add the element, which are electrolytes, is because when you're balancing your electrolytes, if you've never heard of what an electrolyte does, like being able to balance the electrolytes inside of your body, especially during this time of like losing weight, game changer. It supports your hormones. It supports your energy levels, like being able to have your electrolytes where they need to be. That is why I've put that inside of there. It is a game changer. for that. And then email and phone support as needed. Like, even though we're doing a weekly check-in, like, you have access to me for that entire 6 weeks and then even beyond. And then before, we can document some of your before and after photos if you want to. We can help put that together and do all of that, and you can have your success of what that looks like as well. Okay. Now, this is for the 42 days Big Kahuna. If you're watching online, you can also see email Dr. Cassie that I'm ready for the 42 day, and we'll make sure to get that. If you're not local, I can send everything to you. So it can get emailed or get mailed directly to you if you are not local. If you're like, I don't want to do that whole 42 days. I don't know if it's actually okay. Like, I don't know if it's good. I don't know. There is a 9-day experience that you can do. Okay. You can do it for 9 days. I'm starting my 9-day tomorrow because I have not done the 9-day yet. The 9-day is not going to create a new metabolic set point. That's the only part about this. But this is like, I want to lose maybe 5 to 10 pounds pretty quickly. If you're like, I just want to see if this is going to work for me. And I just kind of want to dip my toe in the water and just kind of start this process. That is what the 9-day is for. You get a 9-day supply of the drops. So not the full 42, but you get the 9-day of that, the whole protocol kit. You get the bottle of the drops. You get an instruction card that's inside of there. You get, and then all of it goes online. Like, all of it is like, you get an instructional video of what the 9-day would be. You get a food list of what the 9-day will be. And then you also get a recipe guide of what that 9-day would be as well. And then I'll also do 2 visits with you for that 9-day, just to make sure that all is good and well, and any type of email and phone support for that as well. That costs is $199 to go through all that. Okay. I want to, before we end and do a Q&A and ask all the questions, I'll answer them all. A few things that you do need for this is a food scale, because you are measuring things. You're not measuring them for forever, okay? Like, this isn't a forever thing, but to lose the 20 to 35 pounds, like, it just takes this for the moment, okay? You also need a scale. Usually one that's like a digital scale that you can stand on and you can see the numbers that are on there, because each day you're going to do your food journal for that 42 days, and you're going to put your weight in there. You're going to do, did I do my drops? How well did I do my water? So you're tracking everything. This also helps in our check-ins, because I'll be able to see, like, is there anything or discrepancy of where it was? Like, that way we can just make sure that all is good and well and you're getting the results that you want to. It tells you when to do it, 5 drops 3 times a day. It tells you all those things so that you can have your date and your weight, so you can start to see things happen. Okay. I also got these off of Amazon. It was the best thing for meal prepping. Those of you that are online, it looks like this here. I'll make myself big. Just like this. So it separates, so I can put everything in there separate. And it just made life so much simpler and easier to just meal prep and have it done. So then I knew I was just going to do like this. Another thing that I did that made this really simple and easy is I bought broccoli slaw. I bought broccoli slaw and cabbage slaw every single week, and it was one of my go-to easy things because I didn't have to chop anything or make anything. I will tell you that has been the easiest part about this, is like, it's not a whole lot of meal prep. I cook with broth, so that was something new, but it was really great and it flavored things. So you can have all the broth in the world. So you can have vegetable broth, chicken broth, beef broth, and I would put a little in the pan, and that's how I would cook my meat and cook my vegetables. I stuck to strawberries and blueberries. Blueberries are super easy to measure out really simply and quickly, and they're the lowest on the glycemic index. But strawberries, yes, you have to like cut them up, cut the top off so that you're not eating that. But I just made it really simple and really easy. I had one pan that I would cook everything in, and then I would wash it and put it back, and then it was done. It was one of the easiest meal preps that I've ever done, which was wild to me, but it just made everything so simple. Just made my life simpler. Didn't feel as complicated because I knew exactly what I was eating, how much of it I was eating, and then I would eat it and then watch just literally the scale just continue to go down. It was insane what happened.
And you did it for the 42 days?
I did it for the 42 days. During Halloween and during Thanksgiving.
Wow. Sis.
Yeah.
You really.
Well, I knew that we were going to do this, and so I would never do anything that I wouldn't ask you guys to do myself. So I was like, well, I'm going to go through it. Did I need to lose 20 to 35 pounds? No, I didn't. But I was like, I'm going to just go through, see what happens. And my own metabolism, I lost 13 pounds, like being able to go to that space. Now I'm going to do the 9-day to see what happens to like, I don't know what's going to happen. We go to Disney next week. And so I'm like, what a perfect time. And it's the beginning of the new year. And like, let's just see what happens in this like 9-day thing. And then go from there. Yeah. Any questions for me? Those are the bonus tips that I was giving you guys, but any questions or?
We could take you on meds.
Yep. Medications are totally fine.
Were there any side effects that you felt like, I don't know, like headedness or anything like
I
that?
didn't. I didn't. There were some times where I was a little bit hungry, but I think that's because I kept doing Pilates.
Yeah.
If I didn't, and I did some just like walking and some like the Pilates that I do is like can be a little bit intense. So on the days that it was like the cardio circuit of Pilates, like I was like, I'm a little bit more hungry. But then I have all my free vegetables. You can have as many free vegetables, like even though it's like two meals, like if you get hungry in the middle and you need a snack, like then you can have some of your free vegetables. Yeah.
You don't have to pile it all on into your meal.
Nope. You can have the freeze. Yeah. As long as they're freeze. Yep. The reason they're free is because they're mostly water-based. So anything that's water-based and it is, not adding calories to your that. Let me see. Great. Okay. I'm going to answer some of these questions. One of them was the best way to track the measurements. I think I went through that. Donna, do you mean the measurements like from your food or measurements on your body? We can see what she means on that. How do you transition after the program year? And there's a whole maintenance phase for that. Do you need to clean yourself out by taking a laxative before you start? Nope, you don't have to do any of those things. None of those things. You just eat 5,000 calories.
That just
Some of you are already there. Some of you ate 5,000 calories this last week. You can do it. You can do it. How do you do your check measurements on your body? Yeah. Donna, there's a couple different ways. Yeah.
And then we gotta go.
And then do the things. So listen, I know. It's a whole thing. But you can measure your inches if you want to. Like I can measure your inches. So when we do that initial consultation, if you want to do something other than weight, we can do that. So we can measure inches. But the main thing that you do every day to track is to stand on the scale. And you want to do it at the same time every day. Yep. Same time every day. Whether you wear clothes or you don't wear clothes, try to keep it as consistent as possible. I just did every morning I would take a shower and then I would stand on the scale without any clothes on. And it was just like my rhythm of putting it in, and I would put it onto my food journal, and then I would write my food in there. Just try to keep it as consistent as possible. Okay. Those were all the questions from there. Donna, can I come by tomorrow and pick up your kit? Yes, you can. Will we take before and after pictures during our consultation? Yes, we can either do it here or you can do it on your own. It depends. If you want people to see them, great. If you don't want people to see them, great. I don't care. I've done them both ways. So I've done them like on my own, and I had like a sports bra on and like tight. Like the tighter the clothes, the easier it is to be able to see things, of course. But We can also do just like those pictures there where it's just right here in the office, like we do posture pictures, right? Yay! More posture pictures. Super good. Okay. I am going to end you guys here on the stream. If you have any questions, just email me. We'll walk through it.